Welcome to the Ill-Minded Chrisology. This is where I break down fights in under 10 minutes. Try to give you guys my picks and why I picked them. If you want sports betting information, you head over to my Discord. Please like and subscribe the video to support the algorithm if you like the content and if I'm pretty accurate. I think I'm pretty accurate. I'm trying to work to be the best fight predictor in the world. So I appreciate all the support, and let's get to it. All right, so for UFC Denver, Namajunas versus Cortez. First fight of the night, we got Evan Elder versus Darius Flowers. It was kind of added to the card late. So both of these fighters didn't have a lot of time to prepare for each other. I think Evan Elder had a better camp, had a longer camp. So I picked him to get the win. Also picked him by KO round 2 because I think Darius Flowers competes at a high level in a lot of round 1s and then kind of falls off. So I think the win equity for Elder is later in the game, later in the fight, or the judges' scorecards. Next fight, Josh Frame and Andre Petrosky. So with this fight, I didn't want to touch it at all because, I mean, Josh Frame, we've been all trying to fade him. Pretty sure most of the MMA community don't really like him. And Andre Petrosky, we just saw him get knocked out by some guy's hip, so I didn't really want to bet him either because it's like, how the hell do you get knocked out by a hip, dude? You're a professional fighter. Like, what kind of fucking glass chin do you have? And it sucks because he trains right down the street from my house, so it's one of my local boys that I'm supposed to be able to support, and I don't have faith in supporting him. So I really like the under 2.5 in this matchup. I would bet that before I would pick a side. I'm not picking a side. I think this finishes. So I just gave you one. I'm max betting that, by the way. That's one of my biggest bets on this card is the under 2.5 on this fight. It's either Petrosky by round 1 sub or Frame by round 2 KO. I don't think it makes it to round 3. I'm pretty sure it's not going to make it to round 3. Moving on. Luana Santos versus Maria Apagova. So this fight, earlier in the week, I was on Luana Santos after I did some research and watched tape. It's tough. It was tough after I watched tape, and then after I saw the weigh-ins, it was even tougher because look at this shit. How the fuck did it go from that at 22 years old to that at 27 years old? Look at the difference in her face. Like, I don't know what kind of drugs you were on, but they were some good ass drugs, and I need some right now. But yeah, anyway, she looks good. She looks healthy, and as someone with addiction in my family, I've saw someone go through addiction, and they usually tend to pick something up religiously to take their mind off the addiction and wanting that drug, you know. So I think she's been training really good, actually. She has incredible physique. This is the best I've ever seen her look. So she looked kind of soft at the weigh-ins, right? Luana Santos, she's a OnlyFans girl, so you know that OnlyFans phase in effect, but she's actually pretty talented. I've made a lot of money on Luana Santos, so this is gonna be the first time I actually fade her and go the other way. So give me Maria Apagova by submission round 1. She just looks physical, and I think the more physical specimen in women's MMA usually wins. Montel Jackson versus Damon Blackshear. I'm not too high on either of these guys. Montel Jackson has a lot of power. His name is quick, but he's not really that quick. and he doesn't throw a lot of volume either. And Damon Blackshear, I think he's more of the balanced fighter here in this spot. I'm not too high on the guy. I don't really like the guy, but he's definitely the more balanced fighter out of these two. He could definitely mix in grappling if he wants to. Um, I would say he's got the better grappling out of the two for sure. And at high elevation, maybe even the better cardio. But give me Damon Blackshear. This spot would be dog or pass for me. Moving on to Jasmine Jasavicius versus Fatima Klein. I see a lot of people pulling the money on Klein. I originally was on Klein and I liked what I saw on tape, but when I saw the weigh-ins, she does not look good for coming up a weight class to fight someone whose physicality is probably going to be harder for her to out physicality, if that makes sense. But this is a tough step. Not only step up in competition, but tough to go up a weight class and fight Jasmine here for Klein. I feel like this is going to be a great display of Klein's skill, but I don't know if she's going to win in this spot. It's going to be a sloppy split decision either way. But give me Jasavicius to get it done. Next up, Joshua Van versus Charles Johnson, Mr. Energy. Both these guys got good boxing. The problem with Charles Johnson is the competition he's fought doesn't really have the boxing to keep up with him. So he always outboxes the people that are trying to fight him. So with that being said, I went with Vaughn by decision because his boxing is way more crisp. He has more power than Johnson. Johnson doesn't really have power. He has like pillow hand. He just touches you. Just touch and go, touch and go. He doesn't really try to load up on too much. And he can mix into grappling if he needs to. But I think Van could keep up either way. He's also the younger guy at higher elevation. I'll take him to win by decision. Cody Brundage versus Abdul Razak Alasan. I see a lot of people steaming the round 1 KO for Alasan. It's the last thing to go in your age. He's 38 years old. His power, and Brundage chin can be questionable sometimes, so I see it. But he Abdul is wearing a lot of muscle in that body, man. At that high of elevation, he's gonna gas out eventually. If he doesn't get the round 1 finish, it's all Brundage world after that. And I feel like Brundage is the bigger fighter in this spot. Like when I saw weigh-ins, he just looks bigger, even though he's not as muscular. So his natural build is just bigger than Alasan. I'm gonna take a shot on the dog here. It's just dog or pass for me. Give me Brundage by submission, round 2. And then next up we have Christian Rodriguez and Julian Erosa. This is a tough fight because all the public's on Christian Rodriguez, and I understand why. I mean, he's come through so many tough opportunities and pulled out a win, and his stock has risen tremendously, and he's only 26 years old, so how high is his ceiling? In this spot versus Julian Erosa, though, there's a lot of risk here, right? Because Julian Erosa's a dog, and in round 1, he will fight in any way he needs to win the fight. My fear is that his chin is just gone. And Christian Rodriguez doesn't really have much power, but he has some fundamental things that could knock somebody out, like his head kick. And to be honest, Julian Erosa's been knocked out by 2 head kicks in his career. The third time's a charm. Give me Christian Rodriguez by a round 2 head kick KO. And if that doesn't happen, I mean, if round 2 finishes and both of them are still alive and it's pretty close, I would definitely put your money on Julian Erosa at good odds. because he can definitely hedge out his decision here with all the money that's on Christian Rodriguez. Just keep an eye on it. Moving on, next fight up. This one's crazy. I like this fight. I like this fight a lot. I actually really hate Angelusa. The way he quit his last match out against Brian Battle, like I was screaming, like all the people watching me in my Discord, I was screaming at this motherfucker, like, you pussy, you bitch. And then Brian Battle called him pussy. I was like, yeah, Brian. Yeah, I'm a #1 Brian Battle fan now. Like that's my boy. Um, but Gabriel Bonfim, right? He fell in love with his hands so much after being the best submission artist in this division, in this weight class. He fell in love with his hands, and you saw that this last fight. He really wanted to finish someone who doesn't really get finished very often. And you know, he went all out. I mean, he was piecing him up too. I mean, he's beating his ass. And that's going to happen here. The same thing's going to happen, but Ange Loose, they say he's so durable. That's not what I saw versus Brian Battle. He was looking for a way out, man. He was quit. He was ready to quit. And that eye poke gave him his way out, and he quit like a little girl. So Gabriel Bonfim, I don't know why I always put an R in there, but he's gonna right the ship, man. He's gonna come out here and give me Bonfim KO round 1. Next fight, Drew Dober versus Gene Silva. I've been making a lot of money on Gene Silva, and I'm ready to ride this train, this money train, till the wheels fall off. I'm gonna take Silva by round 2 KO. I think Drew Dober's probably gonna win round 1 at a high clip. And I wouldn't be surprised if Silva hurts him and he starts shooting takedowns and all that stuff. And then in round 2, it's going to be Rocky. And I could just see it. I could see Silva just hitting him with a nasty uppercut, dropping him. Dober's going to go for the panic wrestle the rest of the fight. I could see a Silva submission too. I was looking at that line earlier in the week. It was pretty high up there, and now it's kind of not worth taking. He doesn't really search for submissions. It's more of a defensive tactic for him. Like he'll pull guard on a guillotine if he feels like your takedown sloppy. He's not really looking for that though. He wants to knock you out. He's crazy. I love this guy. The one thing about Gene Silva I will say is that his confidence level is so high that even when he gets hurt, you can't see it in the fight. Like even the fighter can't see it. He's just so confident in his abilities that it just makes him awesome, man. He's awesome. He's next up. Drew Dober's on his decline. Give me fucking Silva KO round 2. Next up, Santiago Ponzinibbio and Muslim Salikov. Man, I miss Muslim Salikov in his prime. Father Time is caught up to him. They're both predominantly old. They're both, on a 3-fight losing and out of their last 5. And this fight is a stay away fight, man. Don't even bet it unless you're betting the under 2.5 or just for someone to die. It could even be a sloppy decision. I would say if I had to pick something in this fight, I would pick the under 2.5 or Ponzinibbio round 2 KO. So that's the pick I gave you. Honestly, this fight, just stay away from it. It's too much validity and too volatile to touch. But I got to give you a pick. That's why I'm here. So Ponzinibbio KO round 2. Oh yeah, and something I did bet though that I want to give out is Christian Rodriguez. I believe Round 3 KO is what I went with. Round 3 KO was like plus 1200. And then last fight of the night, Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. There was some narrative stunts during the weigh-ins where she cut off her hair and she stood on a scale with it and cried. Don't fall for it. It's all part of the act. Trying to sell a fight here. To be honest, Thug Rose is no longer Thug Rose. She's get kissed on her lips by her coach Rose, and you know, she's never going to touch gold ever again. It never will happen. And here's why. She's 32 years old at flyweight, and she's a head case now. So her whole mental in the fight, we saw it last fight out. She won the fight, but in round 2, she was really feeling down and out. You know, you could tell. And her corner literally had to get her back into the fight. So with that being said, I don't feel like her ceiling is going any higher. She's already reached her ceiling. And Tracy Cortez is still getting better, I would like to say, still improving. She's definitely going to be bigger by fight time. And sometimes that physicality gives Rose problems. We saw that in the fight with Manon Farhat. Manon Farhat was just bigger. Didn't do anything about it, right? And I'm bad with names, so I had to look that shit. Oh, don't mind that. But she was just bigger. And sometimes physicality is all you need in women's MMA, and we see that a lot. We saw it with Macy Barber. We saw it with who else we saw with oh shit, what's her name? Remember Jinu Frey? Jinu Frey? I'm sorry, Jinu Frey. Long time ago. She used to be one of my favorite women's MMA fighters, and then she fell off because she could no longer make the weight, but she moved up, and then she wasn't big enough. So, and she struggled to win after that. But anyway, give me Tracy Cortez by decision. I think it's going to be a sloppy fight. I think it's going to be one of those fights where one punch by someone could do something different, or one takedown by someone could award them the fight. If you're going to bet this, I really like the Tracy Cortez plus 5.5 line at plus 145. I really like that. I like the overs. If there is a finish, if it was a finish, it could be sub by either girl in round 4 or 5. But if there's no finish, I favor Tracy Cortez by decision. UFC wants her to win. There's a story there. There's a narrative there. You know, her brother died, who wanted to be a UFC champion, and then she was fighting to secure his dreams and legacy, and she hasn't lost since. So she's probably not going to lose this one either. Give me the dog, Tracy Cortez, to get the win. That's it. Please like and subscribe. I will be doing these videos every Friday, so you can see what's up in my head, what I'm thinking for the fights. I aim for a 70% or better cap rate every week, and I'm pretty consistent. So definitely look out for my upcoming content, and thanks for checking out the video. See you later.